Okay, let's get started for today. Good morning to everyone. I've got 3 announcements that I want to make before we get started. Um, First of all, your spring 2021 schedule is available now for you to look at. It's in WebAdvisor, and you can get there through Blackboard. The main Blackboard screen on the left side, you'll see it says WebAdvisor. Or you can go to tccd.edu and then click on register for classes, and you can check out the schedule. Okay. Does anybody need help in finding the spring schedule online?
Mm, Probably I do, teacher.
Okay. You need some help?
Yes. How can I found it in how can I found it in here online?
Okay. So what I'm going to do at the last 5 or 10 minutes of class, I will show you on my screen how to get there. Okay.
Okay.
So let's just do that, and I'll record a little video for those who need help later. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Okay, so we'll do that registration. Okay, and you can register starting next week all the way up until a week before classes start, and that will be about January 12th. Okay, so classes start on January 19th.
So those classes are gonna be online too?
Yes,
Okay.
all PCC classes will be online again, and
Okay.
hopefully this will be the last time, the last semester. But I'll talk about that a little bit at the end of class because I want to show you that there's 2 kinds of online classes that they're going to offer. So students get to pick which kind they want. So I'll share that with you when we go to the schedule. Okay. Let's go ahead and go to number 2. Your lab number 2 was due last Friday, and I realized that I forgot to remind you of that. But most of the class did it. So I want to say thank you for doing that on time, and I've set it up to where all the due dates are there. All of the information you need is in my writing lab. So I do expect you to do it, even though I may forget to remind you. Okay, so thank you for those of you who did that. If you haven't done it, go ahead and do it as quickly as you can, and I'll just have to mark off 10 points for each day that it's late. If it's not done by Wednesday, well, today's Tuesday. Okay, if it's not done uh, by next week, then I'll just mark it as a 0. Okay. Any questions about that?
No, teacher.
Okay. And another thing I want to mention is your journals. I graded your journals, and I was very happy about most of your journals. You did great. I saw a lot of really good formatting, and I saw most of you trying to use a good topic sentence and having some details and a conclusion. So I want to just remind you that the first journal that you did, I was just looking for ideas. Okay, so a lot of you got a really high score. The second journal, I was a little more strict. I was looking for really good format, and I was looking for organization. I needed you to have a topic sentence, supporting details, like 3 points, and a conclusion. Some of you skipped a line, some of you indented 2 or 3 lines. So I marked off points for that because even though it is a kind of a free writing type activity, I was grading you based on organization and format. Okay. So up until this point, I haven't been as strict with that. But now, continuing forward, I will be strict with the format and organization. So, moving forward, our next journal is not going to be due for a couple more weeks. Okay, so we've got some time. But the next journal is going to be optional for those of you who made a 90 or above on journal number 2. So journal number 2 that we just finished, if you got a high score, like a 90 or a 100, you do not have to do journal number 3, okay? Because in my opinion, you have already mastered the techniques of formatting and organization, okay? Especially if I left a comment in your grade book like, hey, you did great with organization, okay? So you're done. Don't worry about any more journals. If you got a lower score, like 80 or below, I would like for you to do journal number 3, okay? But I'm not going to count it as a grade. I will just check it because it's another time for you to practice organization and format, okay? Because really, before you get out of level 1, I need you to have a good understanding of format and organization, okay? The third key is subjects and verbs. All right, that's another foundation in level 1. Those are things that we will continue to work on because nobody can be perfect with subjects and verbs. All right, but you need to have sort of a basic understanding. So, so that's what we're doing moving forward. Journal number 3 is not going to be graded. Okay. Does anybody have questions about the journals?
No, teacher.
Okay. So again, I will post that assignment in another week's folder. It's not going to be due this week. Okay. This week, we're focusing on getting ready for our big paragraph that I am going to grade for grammar, sentence structure, and all of that. Okay, so we're focusing on that this week. So that brings us to the warm-up question. What is the formal organizational pattern? Okay, some of you in your journal, you wrote, I had some students that were just writing, oh, it's kind of like your ideas were coming and going and you just, writing, which is kind of like free writing, okay? And that's good to do before you prepare for a formal paragraph. But when we're doing a formal paragraph, we've got to fit our ideas into an organizational pattern, and that's what we're practicing in our writing work that we do. So to do that, we've got some steps that we need to follow. So on the bottom here, we're looking at an example. So if I have a paragraph, and this is the formal pattern, formal means like academic, what is expected in college, and the kind of the correct writing style. What we've got is the very first sentence must be your topic sentence. Okay. And good morning, Alan. I saw you joined us.
Yes, good morning,
So
teacher.
good morning. The first sentence must be a topic sentence. We do not want to ask any questions in a formal paragraph. So don't write a question as a title, like, what is my favorite season? We're not going to write a question. We're not going as a title or as a topic sentence. We don't need any questions at all in paragraphs, okay? So that first sentence is going to be, has the topic and the focus or the controlling idea. So today we're going to practice that again. And so that's really important that you kind of nail that down. First sentence, main idea, okay? The second sentence of your paragraph is not going to be kind of like another main idea or explanation of a main idea. We're going straight to our supporting point. So we'll start with something like, first of all, and then we say our point, right? Like my favorite season is winter because of 3 reasons. First of all, this is the second sentence, right? First of all, I enjoy the holidays with my family. Okay? And then after that, we go to the details about that second sentence. Okay? So we've got topic sentence, supporting point number 1. Then we give details or example of that supporting point. Okay? Then we go to a transition like second of all, and then we give our second supporting point. And then we give explanation and details of that. Okay? And if we want to, we can do a third point and details of that, or we can just have a conclusion sentence. All right? So every single sentence has a purpose. That is my point. That's what I'm trying to show you today. Okay? There are no sentences in a paragraph that are just, off topic or they don't fit. We've got to make every sentence fit. It has a purpose and it has a structure. Okay? Any questions about that?
No.
Well, I want to just tell you guys, like, Gerardo, your journal was excellent. I remember last week you were like, oh my gosh, I don't know, teacher, if I can do this. You had the correct organizational pattern, and you did very well. Several of you did very well. So, and go back to the grade book and look at the comments that I gave. There's a little bubble symbol next to your grade of your journal. Click on that and look at the comments, okay? Is everybody able to see the comments? Is there anybody that's not able to go back and check what I wrote about your journal? Any questions about that?
I didn't check my journal yet.
Not me, teacher.
Okay, so you haven't checked it, Gerardo. And then Alan, everything's good with you or not?
I can see the little bubble on my grade. I mean, I can see the other comments for the last assignments. I can't see the. Oh no, hold on. No, yeah, I can't.
Okay, you can see.
No, because I can see the. No, forget it. Yeah, I can see it right now.
You can see it.
Yeah, I can.
Okay, good. I'm like, wait, is it can or can't? What does he say?
No,
Okay, good.
Can't, but
Yes. Well, if anybody has questions about, where's my teacher's comments, please, because that is essential, very important that you see the feedback that I give you. Otherwise, you're just going to keep making the same mistakes, right? And your grade will go lower and lower and lower because each time I teach, I expect you to come up to that level and to be able to demonstrate that you've learned what I've taught, right? So if you're going in, you say, oh, I don't know why I got a 70, or I don't know why I got a 60, that's not good. You need to be able to understand why before you do the next assignment, right? So I'm just saying this to anybody who has problems looking for or finding the comments that I leave on your writing, okay? I always leave comments because I always want you to understand, what does my teacher want? What is my teacher looking for? Okay? So again, just to review, remember the hamburger we talked about. A topic sentence is at the top, the very first sentence. Then you must have 2 or 3 supporting points and then details of each of those. Okay? We don't want to just say, First of all, I enjoy the holidays with my family. Secondly, I like the weather. Third, I get a break off of work. That's not good enough. I need more than that. So you would say, first of all, I enjoy winter because of the holidays. I get to see my family during Christmas. I get to um, visit my friends on New Year's or whatever. Then you would go to your next point, supporting sentence number 2, right? And you would continue. So it's point, example, point, example, point, example, and then you get to your conclusion. So it makes a really nice hamburger, okay? I want lots of details in there. Think about a hamburger. You got tomatoes, bacon, cheese, onions, lettuce. Look at all of these things, right? That's what I want you to have in your supporting sentences. So your journal was a practice for that. Just remember, try to keep the structure, and that's what I'm looking for, is good structure. Okay. Any questions, guys?
Gotcha.
Okay. So let's go to, first we need to check the answers to our homework. I haven't forgotten about that. And I put the answers in the PowerPoint. So let's open our books, please, to page 35. Page 35. You guys remember, once again, we have a short paragraph. And what do we need to look at when we're looking at this paragraph? I want you to look at those 3 parts of a paragraph and how they broke it down into sentences, okay? So here's what I want you to do. Take a pencil. It's great if you have different colored pencils or highlighters so you can recognize the different parts of the paragraph. But let's label the topic sentence first. I want you to put TS, topic sentence. Okay? And let's see, I forgot who's in our class today. It's Alan, Gerardo, and Sammy, right? Are all 3 of you there?
Yes.
Okay, Gerardo, what is the topic sentence on page 35?
Okay, let me, because my book is electronic and
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to go. 35, you say, right?
Yes.
So, and in the first space, I put first.
Yes, that's the answer, but what is the topic sentence?
Oh, okay. The topic is computer technology is creating a unskilled labor force.
Good. So underline that sentence and put TS, topic sentence.
Yes.
Okay? Then if you have a different color highlighter or pen or something, I want you to underline the first supporting point, okay? And it starts with first, comma, many companies are using complex mathematical models to make business decisions. That is the first supporting point. Okay? And then the next sentence starts with, for example, and you see how I had my first point, but I'm not going to my second point yet. I'm going to explain the first point with an example or details. So it says, for example, in most companies, managers do not decide if and when to order stock. So those 2 sentences right there are both about the same idea. That's your first block, if you want to say, of support. Okay, does everybody see what I'm doing? Who has a question? Okay, so I want you to put supporting point 1. You could put SP1, S SP1. Starting with first, many companies, all the way to where it says when to order stock.
Okay.
Oh, actually, no, this one has another one. It says a computer model indicates when a company needs to order a particular item. Okay, so stop after item. So we start at the word first, and we go all the way to the word item. That is supporting point 1. We're talking about one idea right there. So we're going to put SP1. Okay? Your blank, the blank number 3 should have in addition as a transition. In addition means I'm going to my next supporting point. This is going to be supporting point number 2. In addition, many employees work in isolation. Okay? Then the next few sentences are going to explain why and how they're working in isolation. Okay? So starting with in addition and going all the way to the word eroded. Do you see eroded? It says, in fact, good verbal communication skills are being eroded. Eroded means kind of going away. So those two sentences right there are SP2, supporting point number 2. They're both about the same idea. And then we have the word moreover. Moreover is a transition word. It is on page 34. Okay, page 34, if you look at those transitions, moreover means, okay guys, we're going to our next supporting point. This will be the third point. So starting with moreover and going all the way to the word cost. Those two sentences there are going to be SP3, supporting point 3. We are talking about the third point. Okay, so in the blanks, we have, we already did in fact, and then the next blank is therefore, and the last one is undoubtedly. So where it starts with undoubtedly, that is the conclusion sentence. Okay, so how many supporting points or supporting ideas do I have in this paragraph? Who can answer that question? How many supporting points are in this paragraph?
We have 3 supporting points in this paragraph.
That is correct, Alan. We have 3 supporting points. Now, how many supporting sentences do we have? This time we have to count the periods, okay? How many supporting sentences do we have? Let's count those, okay? You can circle the periods if you want.
I think it's 6.
And I'm double checking here, okay? I can, because the first supporting point has 3 sentences.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh wait, wait. Maybe there's another one. Let's see. Nope, I counted 8. I counted 8. So let me just show you supporting sentences. Okay, I'll tell you where they are. The first one ends with decisions. That's the first one. The second one ends with stock. Okay. The third one ends with item. The fourth one with isolation. The fifth one passed. The sixth one eroded. The seventh services. And the eighth cost. So altogether, class, that is 8 supporting sentences. So put that on the side of your paper, 8 supporting sentences. And then I want you to say 3 supporting points. Remember, they said first, ... and then they said in addition, ... and then they had the transition moreover, 3. They've got 3 points. Okay, so I can't see y'all's faces, but give me thumbs up if you understand what we just did. We're looking at organization.
Yes, teacher.
Yeah, there's a hand up. That works. Sammy, what about you? Are you hands up, thumbs up? Okay. Oh my gosh, it's hard to do online classes. I'm telling you. If I were in class, I would be like, look, guys, look at mine. Okay. But I really want you to get it so that when you're writing, you can stop and say, wait, I remember what my teacher said about what I'm supposed to do here, right? Okay. So let's go back to the PowerPoint, and we're going to talk about something new today. We're going to look at an illustration paragraph. Today we're looking at an illustration and a classification paragraph, and then we'll talk about fragments after that. Okay, so, and by the way, here's the sections that we're looking at. Chapter 4, just the beginning of it, and we're looking at 4.1 and 4.2. And then we're going to quickly look at section 4.9. We are not going to do the whole chapter 4, okay? Because all of chapter 4 has many different types of paragraphs, okay? But we are only going to focus on 2 kinds of paragraphs. And so we need to, we got to focus on those. We're not doing all of them. And then we are going to look at some sentence structure by looking at fragments in chapter 18. So let's start on page 41. If everybody can look at page 41. Look at the bottom of page 41. Okay, we're talking about paragraph patterns. The bottom of page 41, do you see the blue boxes? We've got 4 kinds of patterns: the illustration, narration, description, process. Turn the page, look at page 42. We continue with more patterns: definition, compare, contrast, cause, effect, classification, argument. That each one of these represents a different style of paragraph, a different kind of paragraph, okay? So let's go back to page 41. Look at illustration. And Alan, can you read what it says? It says it is to illustrate what?
Yes. The word teacher on the purpose is to illustrate or prove a point using specific examples.
Okay, so that's what we're going to do in our paragraphs. Okay, this week and next week. You guys are going to write an illustration paragraph. It's very simple. It's just taking a topic or subject and then explaining it with examples and details, okay? On your PowerPoint screen, this is another way to see it. Illustration or classification paragraph explains a subject by breaking it into parts or examples. Okay, we're still following the basic formal structure. Remember, we have a topic sentence, we've got the point, we have an example, we have a point, we have an example, we have a conclusion. Okay, we're still going to follow that same pattern. And it's just the basic pattern of paragraph to have an illustration, classification, focus. Okay, and I'll explain. Illustration and classification are very similar, so I've grouped them into one, and I'll show you the topics for this in just a moment. Okay, so we've still got our formal structure. Let's look at some example topic sentences. So number one, here's an example of an illustration topic sentence. The best kind of pet is a dog because they are intelligent and helpful. The topic is the best kind of pet, and the controlling idea is intelligent and helpful. Now, intelligent and helpful are what? What do we call these? Are these nouns, verbs?
I think it's a verb.
It's something you do. So I can say, yesterday I intelligented. Tomorrow I'm going to intelligent.
It's an adjective.
Yeah, it's an adjective. It's describing the pet. Okay? Intelligent and helpful. So that's where we're focusing on in this paragraph. We want to focus on these two descriptions, right? So there you go. Those are going to be the supporting points right there. Intelligent, helpful. And then you're going to give details about how. How are they intelligent? How are they helpful? Okay?
Okay.
That is an example topic sentence for this kind of paragraph. Okay? Now you guys help me with this next one. This is another topic sentence, and it's just an example. Can you guys help me find the topic and the controlling idea? There are 3 categories of friendships in life.
Friendships in life is the topic, and the controlling idea is there are 3 categories.
Good. 3 categories is the controlling idea. Good. Friendships is the topic. So the dark letters show you the topic. The underlined part is the controlling idea. Okay. Now this one, this type of topic sentence fits under a classification pattern, but you can see they're both very similar. The pet sentence and the friendship sentence are very similar. Let me show you, just so on your own later on you can read about these 2 types. I want you to look at page 42. Okay, because later you need to go back and read this and kind of catch the idea. Page 42 gives you information about the illustration paragraph. Okay, and then I want you to flip over a couple of pages to the classification paragraph on page 73. Page 73. Page 73, okay? So what does it say? Illustration paragraph uses examples to illustrate the main point, right? Classification paragraph, you sort the subject into understandable categories. So in both of these kinds of paragraphs, we're taking a subject or a topic and we're explaining it in more detail. Okay, we're breaking it into parts or examples. So I'm going to let you pick one or the other. Let me show you some more example topics. Look at page 45. And I want you to circle this or write this down on a piece of paper. Page 45, these are possible topics for your illustration paragraph, page 45. If you look in that orange box where it says the writer's room, look at the topics it gives you. It says unhealthy habits, favorite clothing, inexpensive decorating solutions, annoying sounds. So there's 10 possible topics. I want you can pick one of these to write about, okay, in the next 2 weeks. So for example, number 1, unhealthy habits, right? You could say there are 3 kinds of unhealthy habits. Number 2, you could say my favorite clothing is sweaters and jeans. And then you would explain each of those, right? So each of these topics we can break down into smaller points, supporting points. Okay, look over at page 77. It says page 75. This should be page 77. Let me correct this. Look at page 77, and I want you to see in that orange box or red box, it says the writer's room. And here's the topics again. These are classification topics. And look, they're very similar to the topics on page 45. It says, number 1, sports fans, problems in a relationship. So you could say all the problems in a relationship come from a lack of communication or immaturity. I can see the paragraph coming right now. For number 2, I could write an essay on this. I could write pages on this one. Problems in a relationship. Unhealthy foods, uncomfortable clothing, inexpensive hobbies. There are 3 kinds of inexpensive hobbies. You see? So each topic can be broken down into smaller supporting points. So there are 20 total topics here, right? Page 45 and page 77. There's 20 topics. You are going to choose one, and this week you're going to do the free writing that to prepare. Okay, so you get to pick one of these topics and start doing your brainstorming or your clustering and get your ideas. Okay, because next week we're actually going to write everything and you're going to turn it in for a grade. Okay, who has questions so far about things I've said? Any
So
questions?
we are gonna choose a topic for this week, but we are gonna write it about it for next week.
Yeah, that's basically it. This week we're preparing to do the free writing, and Thursday we're going to do a topic sentence. We're going to actually write, your first topic sentence so that you're ready, because next week or this weekend actually you can begin writing those supporting points. So on Thursday, if you can come to class and you have your free writing done and you've got your ideas that you picked, you can share those with me and I can say, yeah, those look good. So Thursday is a good day for feedback, for you to ask questions and kind of make sure you're on the right track with your topic. Okay, and then next Friday it's going to be October, what day is that? October 16th is when you actually turn in your whole paragraph for me to grade. Okay, good question. Anybody else have a question? Okay, so let's go back to the PowerPoint and let's kind of do some practice with this. Okay, I want you guys to work together. I think we have let me check really quickly who's in our class and make sure, because Carolina was having trouble getting in. Okay, it's just 3 of us. So Alan, Gerardo, and Sammy, you 3 are in the class. I would like for you guys to take these 3 topics here. These are example topics, okay? And I want you to just kind of brainstorm some topic sentences. What could be some possible topic sentences for these 3 topics? Okay? I already gave you examples on the previous slide. Remember these? About the pets.
Mm-hmm.
The best kind of pet is a dog. There are 3 categories of friendship in life. Okay, those are examples. I want you guys to do example topic sentences for these. Okay, so I'm going to give you about 5 or 10 minutes for you guys to work on this. Everybody good?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Get a piece of paper and turn on your microphones and you guys work together.
Okay, guys, what do you think? What's the best topic sentence? Types of drivers, probably.
So first of all, what do we need to do?
I think we have to choose a topic, the best topic of the 3 of those in the screen.
Okay, yeah, decide on good topic sentence for any of them. Okay, best vacation spots. Decide on a good topic sentence.
We have to these 3 numbers. We have to put topic sentence for all or one of them.
No, I think we have to choose the best one of the best one of the best from the 3 of those, and I think we have to read a supporting sentence.
Okay, you guys know what to do? Just pick
Yes.
one of these to start with, any of these that you have ideas about, and then write down a topic sentence and then share it with your group. How could you write a sentence, the topic sentence, okay?
So does anybody have an
What
idea?
what do you like? I have idea for types of drivers, but probably you have another for best vacation spots or reasons for coming to the US.
No, no. Go ahead. Tell us your
Okay.
idea.
About the types of drivers, my main idea can be uh mm, actually actually it's going, but there are different drivers in the city.
Yeah, sounds good. So there are different types of drivers in the city, you said?
Uh-huh.
Okay, sounds good.
I think it has they have how the teacher said controlling idea in the topic sentence, right? There
Yeah.
are there are different types of drivers.
Mm-hmm.
Different types of driver in the city. I think is the controlling idea.
The controlling idea, yes. Well, the
No,
topic will be type of drivers.
types of drivers, right? Exactly. Types of drivers.
Yes, well, I
Okay,
think that's it.
let me jump in. That one sounds really good. If you look at page 43 in the middle, they said there are several good reasons to save money, right? It kind of sounds like yours, Gerardo. There are different types of drivers in the city. So you could also add a word like there are 3 types of drivers, or there are several types of drivers in the city. Okay, so that one is really good. Very good. Okay. Alan or Sammy, do you want to try one of these?
My mind is blocked right now, but the third one could the topic sentence could be like the life, because you said we can't like you use a question sentence, right? On the
Yeah, not for a paragraph. We
okay.
don't have enough space, or you know, because each sentence is valuable, so we can't waste space and just make a question or something. We have to get to the point.
Okay.
Topic sentence in number 3 is my reasons for coming to the US.
Okay, is that it?
No.
Oh,
Topic is my reason for coming to the US, and I don't know. I'm confused.
yeah, we have to finish the sentence.
So
So do you want? Yeah, go ahead.
my life, no.
Well, can be people has many reasons to the US.
Okay, and follow the structure. I have 4 coming, right? There's no 2 coming. So
Oh,
once again, Gerardo, yes, that's correct. You can say people have many reasons for coming to the US. It sounds maybe kind of boring or too simple, but that is what we want when we're doing a formal paragraph. We have to keep it simple and get straight to the point. So for number 3, you could say people have many reasons for coming to the United States. We've got subject, people. We've got a verb, have. Okay. So we've got a complete sentence, and we have our topic, and we're focusing on many reasons. You can also use the word several. Okay. And Sammy, can I help you a little bit with yours? I have an idea for yours. Can I share mine?
Yes.
Okay, so Sammy said, my reasons for coming to the United States. Okay, that's a good start, but we have to finish it. So we're going to say, my reasons for coming to the United States are, so are is the verb, okay, to get an education and find a job.
Yes.
To get an education and find a job. So the controlling idea would be to get an education and find a job. Okay. Sammy, does that sound good?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So you can even change that. You could say, my reasons for coming to the United States are to make money or to, have a better life. So we could change that controlling idea depending on who's writing. And to make it even more formal, you want to take out the word my and just put in some. Some reasons for coming to the United States are, okay, that would be another example. Alan, I know you've had a lot of time over there, and sometimes it's hard to come up with a topic like right away. Do you have an idea or question?
Yeah.
Or
Well, I wrote like there are many places to travel around the world, but
yes.
I realized that I wasn't like direct. I mean, it is not the point there. I need to be more specific, I think.
Yes, very good. You've got a good sentence, but we need to add those topic words in there. Like, there are several, how can we add like best?
Or the
Because you can't really say several of the best. Let's see. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't always work to use there are. My example for number one would be the best vacation spots are those that offer a variety of fun activities, good lodging. Lodging is like a place to stay, and delicious food.
okay.
Alan, maybe you could say the best vacation spots are in Mexico, or the best vacation spots are, and you can pick a location, on the beach or in the mountains.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're right. If we just say there are many places to go on vacation, that's a little bit too general because we're trying to focus on the best. If we say there are many places to visit around the world, that's not focused enough. We need to get back to best vacation spots.
Teacher,
Okay.
can we say like we have some of the best vacation spots in the U.S. and explain?
Yes, but don't use we. I want you to avoid using we or I or my unless the topic is, describe your favorite vacation spot or just tell me your reasons. If the topic has a personal pronoun like you in it, then you can use I, me, we, my. But if it doesn't, we need to stay away from the personal pronouns. So you might want to say, the United States has some of the best vacation spots.
Okay.
Yeah, the United States has some of the best vacation spots. Okay, you guys are doing great. Any questions? Comments or questions? Okay,
Me neither.
so this is to kind of get you thinking about, you know, how do we put together a topic sentence? Remember, you get to choose your own topic from those 2 pages I showed you. You have 20 options. You just pick one, and then you get to do your own, you know, topic sentence about that. Okay? So we'll talk about those more on Thursday. Okay, let's switch gears or switch ideas a little bit here, and let's talk about fragments. Okay? Let's look at sentence structure for a minute. Okay, so we're looking at page 253 in your book, way over there towards the end. And a fragment is a type of error in writing. So a fragment is something that you do not want to do in your writing. Okay. What it is, it's a piece of a sentence, but it's not a complete sentence. That's what a fragment is. Okay. Now, most of you from your writing that I've seen, most of you do not do fragments, which is good. Okay. Most of you have opposite problem. You're actually putting information and words and things into one sentence. A fragment is the opposite. It's when you have not enough in a sentence. You're missing some pieces. So let's look at this one. You guys are going to help me. Can you identify the fragment in this example? It says taking the bus instead of driving has benefits, saving money and meeting people.
Saving money and meeting people.
Is that a fragment?
I think.
Yes.
Okay. Alan and Sammy, what do you think?
Yes, I think the fragment is saving money and meeting people.
Yeah, it is, because it has a capital letter and it ends with a period, but there's no subject verb pair. It's not a complete sentence. It doesn't have a complete idea. So that is a fragment. That's a mistake. So what we need to do to fix it is we can say you can, or you can say people can save money and meet people. Or you could say, okay, taking the bus instead of driving has benefits. First of all, you can save money, right? That would be a good complete sentence. All right, let's do number 2. Sammy, can you tell me where's the fragment in this example?
I think having the best friend.
Not sure? You want some help? Sometimes it's tricky, especially when you've got a paragraph and everything's put together. Alan, what do you think? Can you help her find the fragment?
Yeah, I think the last part of the sentence is they helping you feel better. That looked like a fragment.
Yep, good. Okay, is that the only fragment?
Yeah, because the first part is completed with the second. I think.
So Okay, so first, to give you help and advice when you need it. That's a sentence?
Yes.
Nope, that's
No.
not. Tricky. Sometimes fragments are hard because they look long and they have, looks like it has a subject, you and help, right? But look at what it said. Look at the structure. It says first to give. To give you, okay, you is not a subject. Because when you put that after an infinitive, to give, that's going to be an object. Like, for example, if I say, I want to give you help, what's the subject? I. What's the verb? Want. Okay? So
Okay.
remember we talked about these little tricky things about verbs and subjects. When we have an infinitive, you can't count that as a conjugated verb, and you're not going to have a subject right after it. Okay? So class, there's actually two fragments right here. So if this was my paragraph and I turned this into my teacher, I would probably be counted off 5 points for each of these fragments. Fragments are a huge mistake. So it will be probably 5 points each. Okay? So double check between the periods and look to see if you have a complete subject and verb. Look at the bottom of page 253. I want to read this to you so you can get a better idea. Page 253. It says, a fragment is an incomplete sentence. Either it lacks a subject or a verb, or it fails to express a complete idea. This one has a subject, looks like it says when you need it, right? When you is a subject, need is a verb. But you know what? It lacks the complete idea. So, Alan, if I go to you and say, hey, Alan, to give you help and advice when you need it, does it make sense by itself?
No, that's a fragment.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. We need to have a complete subject and verb before that. We need to say first, what was it? Having best friend. Best friends can give you help and advice when you need it. That would be good. You could say first, best friends can give you help. Okay? So we've got to have a subject and verb. That's in a complete idea. Look at page 254. I want to look at a couple more examples. Page 254. You see where it says phrase fragments. Look at the example where it says no subject. It says, my father did a dangerous job, worked with hazardous chemicals. Remember, I asked you to ask a question, who or what, right? Who worked with hazardous chemicals? We don't have the person in that sentence. So, or that fragment, that's a fragment right there, because we don't have the person that did the action. Okay. And then the second example is missing a verb because it says first sulfuric acid. There's no verb there. Okay. So that's a fragment. All right. Is everybody with me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, good. So let's look at how to correct a fragment. You see where it says add a word or add words. it says, my father did a dangerous job. He worked with hazardous chemicals. So in this case, we added the subject in there to make it a complete sentence. In the second example, where it says join sentences, we just put two sentences together. Well, we put the fragment together with a complete sentence, and we can make one sentence. So we said, first, sulfuric acid is very dangerous. We do not need to say, first, sulfuric acid, it is very dangerous, because acid is the same thing. So we only need to have one, okay? So they corrected that fragment because they joined it to the sentence after it. Okay, does everybody see that? You see how they corrected them?
Yes.
Okay, so we've got a couple minutes left. I want us to start practice 1, just so you can see how to do it. Practice 1, I want you to just do the bottom where it says number 1, the bottom of the page of page 254. Let's see if you can find the fragments. There are 2 fragments at the very bottom of page 254. Let me know if you find a fragment. It starts with George Washington Carver. Does anybody see a fragment at the bottom of the page? Anybody find it?
I think after Leonardo da Vinci,
What did you say, Sammy?
is after Leonardo da Vinci.
After Leonardo da Vinci. Yes, that's correct. After Leonardo da Vinci. Because we've got periods between the little phrase. We don't have a complete subject, we don't have a verb, and it's not a complete idea. So how do we correct it? What do we need to do?
We need a verb.
We could that point. I mean, what's the name for it? I forget it.
The period?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
period. The period. And that could be a complete sentence.
Yes. Right, exactly. We could take the period away that's after Vinci, where it says often called the Black Da Vinci. Okay, take that period off and just continue with after Leonardo da Vinci and then put the period. So the sentence should be, because of his many talents, he was often called the Black Da Vinci after Leonardo da Vinci. And that's just one complete sentence. So in that case, we joined the fragment to the sentence before it. Okay. Gerardo, have you found the second fragment?
I think it's in 1864.
Yes. In 1864. That's not a complete sentence. So what can we do to fix it?
We have to take care of the period too.
Yes. Take off the period after Missouri and make a lowercase I. So it just should say, he was born in Missouri in 1864. And that's all one sentence. Okay, good. Good job, guys. So your homework is going to be to finish this practice looking for fragments in phrases. Okay. Let's go back up to the screen here, because at the bottom you can see it says the opposite problem. The opposite problem of a fragment is putting too many ideas together. Now, some of you, I'm talking to you today because I can see in your journals that you just write, comma, 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 and it just goes on and on and on. And you need to be careful because it's creating another kind of problem called a run-on or a comma splice error. And we're actually going to cover these more next week in chapter 19. But I want to give you an example before we go today. This is from a journal of one of the students, and I'm not going to say who, but this came from a student's journal. And I just want to use this to show you that what happens sometimes is we just get into the flow of ideas and we're just typing and typing and typing, but we're not creating good, complete sentences, okay? This student wrote all of this as one sentence. Now, I could probably count all of these words. It's going to be more than, I'd say more than 25 words. What we want to try to have is between 5 and 15 words in a sentence. Okay? Another thing that you can do to try to help yourself, try to say the sentence in one breath. Okay? So let me try. I'm going to read this to you. Winter makes me feel like when I had nothing else to worry about other than brushing my teeth for myself. I think it's because I really enjoyed all the holidays and winter so much with all of my loved ones. I feel a special connection with myself in the time of the holidays, more now that I'm far from home. When I start to see all the decorations in the store in the month of October, I know, I can't do it. I have to take a breath, right? So that's, if you can say the sentence in one complete breath and you don't have to breathe again, then that's probably a good indication. It's a good size sentence. But if you keep reading and you can't finish your sentence in one breath, is probably too long. And take a look at this, guys. Look how many subjects and verbs. Winter makes, I had, I think, it is, I enjoyed, I feel, I'm far from home, I start, I know. All of this in one sentence is too much, okay? So again, it's just to kind of help us see what we need to try to do when we're writing. So let me give you an example of how we could fix this. Look at how I divided this into four different parts, okay? So I'm going to read each one, and you can see I can put periods after each of these, okay? Winter makes me feel like when I had nothing else to worry about other than brushing my teeth for myself, period. That's a great sentence. I think it's because I really enjoyed all the holidays in winter so much with all my loved ones, period. Okay? It's a great sentence. And then we can continue in another sentence. I feel a special connection, ... Okay? So I could break this down into 4 different sentences. All right? Is everybody with me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Any questions about that?
No.
No.
Okay. So these are great ideas decisions, and I love it, but we just need to practice dividing it correctly. So fragment type of mistake when we're dividing it too much. We're not including the subject and a verb and a complete idea. And run-ons are the opposite problem. We're just putting so much into a sentence, and we're not putting those points, those periods, to separate those. I know sometimes when you're learning grammar, you think, oh, when I put a period, that means I'm done with my idea. That means I'm done with that topic. That's not true. You can put a period and then you can continue the topic. You can continue your idea, but you just put a subject and verb and continue, okay? Like the first one, winter makes me feel da da da. I think it's because, right? I'm talking about why winter made me feel this way. But I separate it into two sentences, and that's okay. All right, so I want you guys to remember that when you're writing. It's okay to stop, put a point, and then continue explaining your idea, but just make sure you have a subject and verb. Okay, so I think we've done enough for today. We looked at illustration, classification, paragraphs. We've talked about fragments and a little bit about run-ons. Anybody have questions before we go?
No, teacher.
Okay, so your homework is to do practice 1 on page 42. Okay, that's to look at, what was that? Was that classification? Oh, okay, yeah. It's just, it's an example paragraph. So I want you to look at another example paragraph, and you're kind of just answering questions about the paragraph, okay? So practice 1, page 42, practice 1, page 254, and that is where you will correct those fragments. And then I also mentioned earlier, you need to choose a topic from page 45. Why did I say page 47? I was so tired last night when I was doing this. It's not page 47, it's page 77. Okay, there we go. Choose a topic and do your free writing to get ideas and supporting points. And if you look on page 76, 76 has a really good example at the top of a paragraph plan. It kind of gives you in a topic sentence, support details, all of that. That's a good plan to make before you start writing your paragraph. So there's an example on page 76 if you want to look at that. And then by Friday, you need to have a topic sentence for the topic that you choose. Okay, so come back to class on Thursday and ask questions. If you want to share, what your ideas are, I can say, yeah, that's good, or no, maybe change that. Okay. And then coming up next Friday, the 16th, just remember you've got your lab assignment number 3 that's due.
Okay. Teacher, I have a question.
Yes.
When you say a free writing is a kind of paragraph, or is only ideas?
It's only ideas, because remember we talked about planning. Planning is very important before you start writing. So if you look back at page 7, I don't know if you remember this.
Yes, I remember.
This is free writing, or pre-writing, I should call it. Did I say free writing?
So
I meant to say pre-writing.
So the technique is do the free writing without respecting anything, and after that fix in a paragraph.
Right. So the pre-writing, you can choose to do clustering, or you can make a list for brainstorming. Just write down some of your ideas.
Okay.
That's the pre-writing I want you to do. Okay. And so you've got some ideas. Remember we talked about if you have like 5 ideas, we need to pick 3 of the best. So
Yeah.
that's what you're doing this week. You're getting all your ideas, and then I want you to choose your best ideas. And then this weekend, you can actually begin writing your paragraph.
Okay, teacher.
Okay. Good question. Any other questions?
No for me, teacher.